which you are going to be working on, and then make it a simple understanding using the dish, and this dish I call it a cuisine analogy. Do you know a cuisine?
I don't.
But you know a dish. You've ever heard of a Chinese restaurant having Chinese food? You have ever heard of something like luombo? When you go to a restaurant, you see what they have put on the menu, and it will normally help to, how can I call it? It will be able to help different or take care of different people within who are customers of that hotel. Now, when after you have studied for these 3 years, you would want to work on something that will help you put into practice what you studied, at the same time help you to get more knowledge. Whenever you come here to your advisor, I prefer to be called an advisor than a supervisor. You share what you think you are going to do. Then I tell you, no, this one is, why are you doing this anyway? Or why are you adding this? And then try to look for information here and there, or try to make it be this way. So you are trying to, I don't expect you to be that so innovative because of the mentality you have, mentality of I want to finish my degree. And then when you meet me, you become like him and say, I passed. But if it was in a sense of taking up something to kind of innovate, invent, produce something which is exceptional, it means you would have had a situation which you wanted to solve. So, for example, you may be cornered by life. Let's say you did hotel management, you are cornered by life, you don't have a job, you want to go to the manager of the hotel and ask for a job. You're not going to go there and say, do you have space for a job? The man will tell you, wait for adverts. You get the idea? But imagine if you, where do you come from?
I come from
Lira. What is your favorite dish? Something that if you don't eat for a long time, you feel you are not on planet Earth. The one from, Marakwang, let's use Marakwang. What is the spelling?
M-A-N-K. W-A-N-G.
So we are going to make Marakwang, okay? So if you want to make Marakwang, this is at a level, this is your project, but we are at a level of a proposal. You actually presented something, but that wasn't the best you could have presented. You could have done better if we had gone through this. So you have a name of your dish. Equivalently, this side I will be putting Marakwang, here I will be putting what the project would equivalent, which is the same almost. So you will have to have a title, okay? Which is the title of your project. But when you go to this guy of the hotel, you go, let's say, to town and tell the guy, I want to introduce Marakwang. So he'll look at you and say, so who will eat Marakwang? For what reason are you going? So from this title, normally you would have a background. Why are you introducing Marakwang in the first place? What is that problem that you are trying to solve? How did you come up with it? Inside you could be having the idea that you are jobless, you want to get a job, but also you have researched here and there and discovered that there is a Roa Park near some hotel in Wandegere. There is a Roa Park, and there are many buses which pass there or which used to pass there. There is another community somewhere which also likes Marakwang. And if you could strategically position it there, you will be able to get customers who will be able to eat in this hotel. And if this guy accepts your concept, then you got a job because you are the one who is going to make the Marakwang. So that was the title. So you can say Marakwang, let's call it Marakwang special. No, that is the dish which you are going to, which they will add on the menu, Marakwang special. So you reach there, the title is Marakwang special. Background is example of what I'm saying. I know there are these, I've seen a lot of these people, communities around this place, and I think they are potential customers. Even what they call an entrepreneur is someone who sees a gap. After seeing a gap, he comes in and fills it up with a product, with a service, with whatever that is able to be a solution to what he or she has identified. Now, after the background, you may need to give some literature review of why you are doing this anyway, and where the research you have done around to see that there is no other hotel in Marakwang. So literature review means that you have identified the title of your project, or you have identified what you want to work on. Normally, you don't identify the title first, because that is to identify the problem which you want to solve. You get to know what method you can use. So you want to design, for example, I'm going to call it an automated switch, using your biofuel, your bio battery, whatever you call it. Then you start looking at the few things you will do, and then finally you coin a word. So you can see people discover a business they want to work on. I want to sell bread, I'll make a bakery, but then they have to so we leave that one to the people who probably are owners. So it means after you have read through and known what other people have done about your work or towards your work, then you have your problem statement. So some people call it a problem statement, others call it statement of the problem. So stating the problem is exactly what I was explaining, that featured in the background, that there is lack of, you make it sound a problem. There is a great number of people from Marua and Lida who are fan of Marakwang, and they are so passionate about Marakwang, and it is always laborious for them to look for somebody from up there to come and prepare Marakwang, and then they have to bring it on a function which is organized in a very lucrative place. So you look for a very short step in that, and then you coin it as a problem statement.
So in the exercise, it should just be one paragraph.
One paragraph. It should be some long sentence, but call it a paragraph. because you have to state one sentence for the problem, and then when you finish that sentence for the problem, you try to kind of show how what you are going to work on is going to solve it. And then after this, you go on to say, what are your objectives? Why are you doing this? So you have objectives, and you categorize them into specific objectives. Sorry, we start with overall objectives, which is one. So overall objective. Overall objective. And then overall objective is what you want to do in the journey. The main objective. Good. So this is the main objective. And then you get the specific objectives. These specific objectives will inform how you want to now make the steps the key main steps you're gonna go through in order to execute your project, and which will be able to manifest at the end. And that's normally why you will find that they tell you to make them smart. And so S is for they should be as specific as possible. They should be measurable. They should be achievable. I call it Twinamasiko, as saying. They should be. You should be able to show them. If you say, I will arrange or set up a circuit and test it, it should be realistic that you have set up the circuit, you've tested whether it is working. It should be able to be realistic. And then time bound. You should be able to eventually finish within a given period of time. We must be through by the end of the semester. Otherwise, you won't get an extension, and you would be heading into missing your graduation. So it will have to be time bound. Now, the next thing here would be methodology. What method are you going to do? What method or what procedures are you going to go through in order to complete your work? So basically, under methodology, it's like the reverse of our practicals. Whenever you are going to the practicals, you would find they have given you the list of already the list of apparatus. You confirm that you got them. You then give your let's see a normal practical setup. You have a title of the project of the practical that is similar to our title of the project. You have some background. What is this? Actually, a background that you had even read about if you are using the new manual, where you have even done a pre-prac, you've researched. And the literature review is like what you also got to know about. So you can also give some background. Sometimes people confuse it with introduction, because if we go ahead to make a project report, you'll have to give an introduction almost on each chapter. So you can't just say introduction and then you say introduction. So background normally, but sometimes you find people calling it introduction at one point. So then you find you have apparatus. So apparatus would be like similar to in this project, the requirements you are going to use for your project to work. And then after that, you have the aim. What is the aim of this experiment? To show or to show that the common emitter amplifier does A, B, C, D. That's a name of the, or to carry out rectification of alternating voltage. So that's the aim you had in these experiments. But now for us here, you are the one doing it. After the aim, they will tell you to follow the procedures. So they will say procedure 1, connect the circuit. Measure the input voltage. Then after measuring the input voltage, include R in the circuit. Measure the output. Draw the input and output graphs. Identify or comment on their appearance. Then draw the table. Draw the graph of this against that. Conclude or give any comments. But in practicals, you are just relying on what they have already given you. In a project, you are the boss. Yes, so that is about methodology. Methodology, you will be the boss. After being the boss, you tell us what you... So now it is you to show any other person who is going to be reading your project that if they wanted to actually come up with what you produced, if they read your book, they will be able to produce something. So it's similar to our Marakwang special. You've gone to this hotel guy, you've told them, I want to make Marakwang special. You look at you and say, what? Yeah, you tell him, you know, our people are passionate about their dish, Marakwang. Just like you would find people in the Central very passionate about the Maroke. And then literature review, you say, I've tried to go the places around, looked at the menu, there's nothing. And then, but there's Marakwang in some hotel, which is far away, ends of Kawempe or whatever. And they make Marakwang, but it's also a fake place. People won't be, but this place, you know, with your gardens, if we advertise that there's Marakwang here, people will come for weddings, for introductions, blah, blah. Then the problem, you now have to, you know, zero to something that will make him really want. It is about convincing. It is about showing there is a problem to be solved. And then objectives, we shall make these dishes, we shall make a dish for any common person, make a dish for the classe, make a dish for the international people who would want to taste local food, and make it a little bit modernized for them to have freedom with the food. So, and then methodology, you tell him to make Marakwang, you get this, get that, add this, add that. And then, so until when you take this guy through your method, show him what you are going to use, and then eventually you get what we call the results. And these results, you have to discuss them. I'm putting stars because at this level of your proposal, when you're presenting your proposal, really you were not, because I'm sure next time you'll be presenting proposal or progress. Progress. So it will be about progress. So progress will be similar to now you have a full proposal, you have identified the requirements, but you won't be able to give any results. Once you have discussed the results, then you can actually make some conclusions. So we say conclusions or conclusion and recommendations. You saw some of the practicals where you would have to make a comment. Or give a conclusion. You say the other resistor was not working or blew up, or a transistor blew up and we had to put another one, so we lost on time. Or instead of using a 470 microfarad capacitor, we had to use a 110, and now instead of having gotten this waveform, we got the other waveform, something of the sort. Now, after this, then you go ahead and get what we call the references. I've put this bullet again to show you that whether you are on at a proposal level or at a final book level, you need references. You need to show what you might have read that is informing your work. So it's a must that you must make sure you have some references. So at this level of results, for example, for our Marakwang special, you can use any method. You can take their video and see how happy they are. You can make them fill a form in the form of a survey to show how they have liked. Do you recommend somebody to come for the Marakwang? Yes. Would you, if you, how many times do you want to have this dish in a week? And then from that, you tell the manager, they are saying they want it on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, and both weekend days, Saturday, Sunday. And the man will just give you a job. So after making this Marakwang special, which is equivalent to having made your project report, and when I say project report, it includes the setup which you made, setup of what you would have produced. In order for me to pass you, or in order for you to have passed your project, compare it with if you took your eventually gave this Marakwang special dish to this manager, and probably he calls his friend from leader to test it, and after he has tested it to see whether he can give you the job. Yes. Yes. So this is the that's why I use this comparison, because everyone is passionate. You are passionate about Marakwang. If they gave you Marakwang and it has been cooked by somebody who read on the internet the different things they put in, you say, yeah, there are these ingredients, but it doesn't taste like Marakwang. So eventually your project report should show that you put in time, you were solving a problem, or you were intending to solve a problem if you met some issues, and you researched, you looked for information on the internet, you looked for information within the library, and put an effort. So is there something new you have understood or compared to how you were looking at your project? Because I am doing this simply because you just presented without going through this. Almost all of you whom I have confirmed to be part of my group, the ones I will supervise, almost all of you, I have tried to give you this analogy. And after this analogy, I would expect, if eventually when we are done, and remember, the struggle you are going through is the same struggle this Marakwang guy is going to go through. This Marakwang guy has to get the ingredients. This Marakwang guy will have to look for how to get space in the hotel to cook something. That is the lab where you'll be meeting the technician. His way of fitting in is what will help him to do his work easily. How he fits in with the fellow chefs and trick them to give him whatever he wants, make him use the cooks, whatever they are using, whether it is gas cookers or whatever they are using, and be able to produce something and bring it to the table. The same process you'll be going through. You have to read to get this literature. You need to make your problem look a problem and sound better. And then you have to have an overall objective that makes sense. You have to have specific objectives that satisfy all these 5 attributes of being specific, being measurable, being achievable, realistic, and having a time frame that you finish them. And then references, normally they can be links, but if you use links, you must make sure that you state when they were last accessed. And then the format for sometimes books and papers, that format is easy to agree on when you are in the process of producing your report. So now what I require you of, you remember you only sent your PowerPoint, which was a great deal. I'm not sure whether you presented the PowerPoint because they tell me you didn't have a projector. Strange. But now I want you to write, I think, I don't know how many pages they should be. How many pages did they tell you to have for a proposal? Huh? Yes, but you can look for I don't want to limit you, but it shouldn't be beyond 3 pages. So you should be able to have a title, have some small background on why you are going to do your work, some literature review about your work, what you have at least reviewed about anything that is around your work, coin the problem statement, have your overall and specific objectives, give me the methodology you think you will be using, how you are going, the steps you are going to go through, getting your different components, you test them, arrange them on the breadboard according to your circuit, which you have tried to identify and see how you can arrange it, and then test them on a breadboard. If you are transfer it to the PCB, I'm not sure about that. And then finally, you should be having a setup for, not a setup, but a circuit, and then you also state the references. I am planning to have a session with all of you as a group and teach you how to draw diagrams, especially circuit components, and then using Word. And then we also agree on the timetable for each, so that I don't have to continue scratching my head and also planning my week comfortably. Any queries?
In our second presentation, we did the progress. I don't know what they require us to do.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying I need to see your articulated proposal, and then after you have convinced me that what you are going to work on is realistic, and then I don't want to go into what they are going to need from you. I am not them, but you are supposed to be showing your progress. For example, your progress is that you were not having some things. They must have made comments which you are not telling me about your work. Those comments, you put them into practice. You would show that you have concerning the So you still have these things which you had and your specific objectives. You could have achieved one or two of them, or one especially, because they are supposed to be at most 3 specific objectives, at least at your level. And then your methodology, you show what so far you have done. If you eventually got all components of the circuit, you show that you now have everything, and maybe you have tested them so far. And you have met a supervisor. Isn't that a progress?
That's another progress.
So I want you to send me this. Don't use Gmail. Use my email, my university email, and also use your university email.
But there's a contradiction
With who?
with our colleague here. With the colleague in school of education.
We are not going to talk about the thing now. I don't know. All I need is an email.
Because I think I heard they want to know.
Yeah, send on. You can't send me an attachment on Mwele. But also I'm thinking of making a Mwele provision for people who are in my project. So I will create a project group for you guys to send things on Mwele. It is easier, it is quicker, it is easy to communicate. Maybe I'll do that but for now, before then, you go and send me this not later than Monday. No problem. Send it with whatever you can send it, not later than Monday. Monday by 5 I should have this, and then see how we can meet and we talk about I confirm, because now I can't pick, it has to be a Word document. And so that I see whether what you are going to work on is feasible. If there are no other comments or questions, now you should be able to call it a day.